Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors. Yes, we are live right now on the Facebook page and in all the usual places that you listen to Pure West. It's me, Ben Stone, with Gordon Thomas for company through until 9. And tonight we've actually got two brilliant Iron Men joining us. A week or so on from their amazing exploits in Tenby, we will talk to local favourite Ollie Simon, who led the way for a large chunk of the race before picking up an injury and then having to battle his way to the finish line. We've also got Mark Edwards coming up as well to reflect on his incredible 24th Ironman effort. So can't wait to speak to both Ollie and Mike between now and 9 o'clock. And we'll kick off with your views on Wales' opening World Cup match, a nail-biter against Fiji in Bordeaux last night, and also your thoughts on the tournament so far. And we'll squeeze in some local rugby and football as well. And we'll keep an eye on the Welsh international football that's underway against Latvia. So plenty to do. Gordon, evening to you. How are you?
I'm very good after a very hot weekend, Ben.
Yeah, it's been roasting everywhere, hasn't it? And we're going to talk to Ollie and Mark about Ironman, because basically from the August bank holiday weekend on, we've had some pretty warm weather, haven't we?
Yeah.
But this weekend was something else. So were you out and about watching sport, Gordon, over the weekend?
Yeah, I actually did go out and watch a little bit of Division 1 football, Merlin's Bridge versus Tenby. Tenby had run Haken United close the week before, so I was interested to see what sort of form they were in, and the Bridge are supposed to be title contenders, but after watching that game, I don't think the Bridge will be title contenders. Jason Chapman, I hope you're listening. You were well beaten 4-1 by a very good Tenby outfit. Adam Matchett, he scored a brilliant hat-trick for him. And Jake Tucker came off the bench and scored another one, even though the Bridge had taken the lead. But it was so hot. I did just walking around the Pembrokeshire Sports Village up in the Haverfordwest High School. I was sweating pints. It was really hot. Yeah. I felt sorry for every player involved on Saturday.
And did they do anything? Were there extra water breaks or anything like that? Because the temperature
was
sky
high. They did. I think it was agreed by most games on Saturday that there would be drinks breaks, which is sensible, because it was excessive heat, as we all know.
Yeah, no, absolutely was. So well done to anyone involved with local football and rugby. I think we should start with what happened in Bordeaux last night, Gordon. The opening weekend of the World Cup. I've enjoyed watching plenty of the matches, and we'll come to some of them in a sec. But let's start with that opener in Pool C. Probably the game of the weekend actually was Wales against Fiji, wasn't it? In terms of a game that had everything. Wales were looking like they were struggling a bit in that first half. They got the lead at half time, went in 18-14, and then I just thought actually they came good and they got that 15-point lead, didn't they? And I was thinking, right, just see this game out now. But that was a dramatic finish, wasn't it, against Fiji?
Yeah, let's be honest, Fiji are ranked above Wales, and when you looked at that second half performance, when they came back, they fought back. Wales were really under the cosh. They're so physical as well, Ben. You could feel every crunching tackle that was made, and you could see the Welsh boys wincing as they were hitting them. They're powerful. Fiji are very powerful up front. Their back line is very strong as well. But Wales, to be fair, Dan Bigger had an excellent game. I felt a fly half. He kicked well, but there was a lot of poor decisions when they were under pressure by Wales, which contributed to Fiji putting points on the board. But they just got over the line, as we saw with that last pass of the game, which would have put that guy in the corner. Had he not dropped that, Wales could be looking at a defeat this morning. But now that they've got the win, I think it'll bode well for Wales, because I think Fiji play Australia next, and I know Fiji will be really gearing up to win that, because they know they have to win that to stay in the group and try and get out of the group. So I think Australia are in for a bit of a torrid time.
You just wonder, though, how much Fiji have in the tank after that last night, and Wales will take some recovery as well.
They're fit lads, and they're very fit. You can see they're extremely fit and strong. They will be motivated by that defeat by Wales.
And actually, I mean, Gatland said there were some dumb decisions, didn't he, as the game went into the final quarter. He said he was pleased with a lot of what he saw, but we made some dumb decisions. And actually, as well, I thought Wales looked pretty exhausted in that final 5 or 6 minutes as well. And you talk about Fiji being fit, but Wales were on their knees, weren't they?
They've given everything, Dan. They've given everything. They were spent. They really were. I mean, when you got 15 to 18 stone guys running at you all afternoon and you can't get your hands on the ball, all you've got to do is defend. But it's your body that takes the hits, and their bodies would have been sore this morning, that's for sure.
For me, though, it was essential Wales won last night, and we spoke last week on the show, the week before, and we spoke about the Wales games, and we said the Fiji game's massive, and actually yourself and Fraser were quite nervous going into that game, and lots of my friends who are big Wales fans were nervous. I thought it was really important that they won that game. Same with England against Argentina, actually, because you don't want to have to come from behind, do you, in that pool? And had they not got over the line, I think you'd have been saying it's going to be hard for Wales to qualify from there. Having won it, Gordon, I think this sets them up nicely now going into Portugal on Saturday, which is a game they'll win.
Yeah, you're right, Ben. I mean, I can go back to the 2007 World Cup when we lost against Fiji, only by 4 points, and Gareth Jenkins was coach. He lost his job as a result of that defeat. Now, Warren Gatland has had a decade of success, mainly with Wales, and he's come in with a different squad, to be fair. They've had a tough summer. He would have known that the country would have expected Wales to have won that game. They did it by the skin of their teeth, and you're right, it has put them in a good position at this moment in time. They got Portugal next. It's a game that Wales should comfortably win. But you never know in any sport that they should win that. And then you've got Fiji playing Australia, and Fiji can't afford to lose. So it's interesting, very interesting. Yeah. And Georgia's in the group as well. We can't ignore them as well. They're strong up front.
Well, that game is just the other one, isn't it? The Wales will just want to keep an eye on, because Georgia could be a banana skin as well, and they have been for teams in the past. So you hope that they learn from the mistakes they made and the issues Gatland spoke about. But I thought Dan Biggar, he was man of the match, wasn't he, for Wales last night? He really did get them ticking at times in that second half. He's going to be crucial, I think, going forward. There was a lack of composure at certain times that Gatland spoke about. He was happy with the overall commitment from the boys, but in vital areas and times during the game when you needed good game management, one particular incident just before half-time when Mr. Biggar gave his backline a bit of a rollick in, roasting, didn't he?
Yeah. From their own 22 when they're going to go into half-time lead-in, and nearly gave away 7 points. And also at the end, Liam Williams, of all people, British Lion fullback, to kick out on the full and give Fiji possession with a minute to go, nearly cost Wales the game. But there's small margins. Liam Williams had an excellent game, by the way, but it's just one little mistake like that can be catastrophic. Thankfully, we got through.
It was hot as well in Bordeaux, but the Wales fans will have sunk a glass or two of red after the game, because the atmosphere did look absolutely electric there as well. And Dan Biggar did say afterwards it was a tough day, but a special win for Wales. So give us any thoughts. What did you make of the Wales performance last night? How far can they realistically go in the tournament?
Well, I mean, realistically, as I said, I'm hoping that they can get out of this group. It's not over yet, Ben. There's a lot of rugby to be played, but they would have been buoyed by getting over the line against Fiji. As I said, they have got Portugal next, so they should comfortably beat them, while Australia are playing Fiji next. So that's going to be a humdinger. So then we've got Georgia and Australia to play. So there's a lot of rugby to be played. I think Gatland will be quietly confident now that his men can get through to the next stage.
I think they've definitely set the foundations with that win. What's about elsewhere in that tournament, Gordon? I think England was similar. I felt needed to beat Argentina, really, especially given the form going into the tournament. And again, it wasn't the most vintage performance by England by a long way, but you have to win your first game, don't you, somehow?
the same as England. They haven't been in the best of form, let's be honest, Ben, but it was just paramount. No matter what they did, they won the game.
Yeah.
And George Ford at out and half had an excellent game, and he kicked well. I was a little bit disappointed with the sending off of Curry. I thought it was a little bit harsh. I felt it should have been a yellow. And there's been other incidents in other games where heads have collided accidentally, and there hasn't even been a yellow card. So I feel Mr. Curry was a little bit unlucky with that. England will improve because there's a lot of pressure on them. They're expected to do well in that group, even though they haven't done too well in the warm-up game. So there was a lot of pressure on them, but they handled it. It wasn't a great spectacle. Scotland, I thought they played very well against South Africa, a very physical South African side who are, going to be one of the favourites to win the competition. They played really, really well in the first half. Second half, the pressure told, and the Boks managed to get away from them, and I think they won the game 18-3. And then Ireland, they looked really in good fettle. Sexton had an excellent game. We're talking about fly-offs all the time here, but it is an instrumental position, and he kicked his goals and he got his backline moving, and Ireland looked really, really good. So I could see Ireland going through, but the interesting game was the first one, Ben, was France and New Zealand.
Yeah, it was.
Both big nations. New Zealand had a bit of a trouncing of South Africa at Twickenham just before they got to the World Cup. But they started off really well against France. And you thought, they're going to be back and forth. But France kept pegging them back. And their fullback was absolutely magnificent. He kicked his penalties and conversions, and France on the night deserved their victory. Will New Zealand qualify? That would be interesting. But, it's the first group game they've ever lost in 10 years of a World Cup. They've always got through a group game. They've always won their group games. They've never lost one, but they did for the first time ever in their history. And France deserved the win.
France did, and you just wondered whether France might turn up on that opening night, and they did, didn't they? And that's some start for them. And as the host nation, to win that game and just generate some local interest is pretty huge as well. So
they're going to be one of the favourites to win it as well, Ben. In that, they've got some really talented players, and physically they're up with any nation, and they've got a bit of flair as well behind.
Yeah. Lots of rugby to play, like you say. Any comments on that, let us know, and we'll read some of those out as we go through the show. Just some local football as well. We're proud supporters, of course, of Haverfordwest County. It was a disappointing Saturday, though, wasn't it, at the Oggy Bridge Meadows Stadium this weekend. They were beaten 4-0 at home to Newtown. A bit of a reality check, you feel, and Tony Pennock certainly wasn't, he wasn't quite in what he said afterwards, saying he's going to look at the whole thing, including how he set the team up, the information he gives the players, why they played like that. But they'll be disappointed, Gordon, because it has been it's been a tricky start, hasn't it?
Yeah, the previous week they did pick up their first win in Colwyn Bay, but they came from behind in that game. Saturday, they really did get a sucker punch for the first goal with the free kick from distance. Zach Jones, who's been excellent in goal, was caught not concentrating, I would say, putting it politely. Tony Pennock, being an ex-keeper, will address that little bit of a keeper gets exploited straight away whenever they make a mistake. But the free kick was he got it in the right place, and the keeper didn't cover it. The second goal I felt was a little bit fortuitous as well. Across a free kick, half cleared, came over to the right, and the guys just hacked it up in the air, and it's gone about 30 foot up in the air, ended up on the edge of the 6-yard box. Their striker, Aaron Williams, who scored 2 goals, he struck a volley on the turn. It was technique, his technique was superb, but how did he do that on that given day? How did he have that room to turn? But there we are. They were 2-0 down, and they were always chasing the game from there on. And obviously, the heat had a factor in it. there was a few dubious refereeing decisions, and it didn't quite go the Bluebirds' way, and they conceded another 2 goals in the second half. They got a difficult game this Saturday as well, and then they go away to the champions TNS. So you don't expect them to go there and win, but they need to improve.
They do.
They need to improve. Every game is tough in that division. We know that. They had such a euphoria following during the European campaign, but the bread and butter of the Welsh Premier is now the reality. They're sitting in 9th. There's only 12 in the division. It's still early days, but I'm sure Tony will be addressing the issues in the next few weeks, and hopefully we can start talking about a few Bluebirds wins.
Yeah, and he won't panic, and I don't think the chairman will either. But they've been a little bit disappointed with the start, and I think that European run as well. I do think he would have taken a lot out of all of them, players and management as well, because they were high energy, emotional games, weren't they? And they pushed some decent sides all the way, and you think it probably. It probably didn't help the preseason that they had those big games, because Pennock wasn't able to try out a few things like you normally would in preseason, because there were games where there was stuff on the line. So you just wonder if that might just be the reason for it. And like you say, Gordon, that if you want a big game to bounce back in, TNS away on the Saturday.
I mean, you speak about that, Ben. It was uncharted territory for Haverfordwest to play in Europe, and obviously the season started a lot earlier for them. They didn't get much of a break after last season. It was only about 3, maybe 4 weeks at the most, and they were back training and preparing for Europe and going through July, August. They probably didn't expect to get through the first leg, if they're honest, but they did. And so it was an extra little bit to their season, and it was a tremendous journey. It was great to follow, and but now they need to get back on track in the Premier League. And I'm sure Tony Pennock, he doesn't panic. He'll get his group boys together and sort things out and try and get some results. And we wish him all the best for that.
Oh, definitely. We will take a moment, I think, because we've got Ollie Simon joining us very soon to talk about his Ironman effort, a brilliant effort as well. Unfortunately, injury meant that he didn't finish in the top positions like he looked like he was going to. He was leading the way after the swim and the cycle. We're going to talk to Ollie all about that. And another Ironman as well, Mark Edwards, has just done number 24. He couldn't even swim when he did his first one. He had to take swimming lessons.
Before you dash off, Wales are leading Latvia 1-0. Aaron Ramsey's converted a penalty in the 29th minute. So positive start for Wales in the football tonight.
Yeah, huge that for Rob Page. We'll keep a close eye on that as well. That's one that, again, talking about games you need to win, that's one Page needs to win, and Aaron Ramsey's got the goal, so that's pretty crucial. Anna's message as well, I think she said she enjoyed every minute of the rugby, but was very much on the edge of her seat watching it, and I think everyone was last night. Talk about making life hard going into those final few moments, but Wales got over the line, which was all important. We'll be back in just a sec for the second part of tonight's Pure West Sport.